Hello everybody and welcome. It's Tuesday racing at Hollywoodbets Kenilworth. Weather permitting, we're recording this well in advance. We're doing this on Friday, so at the time of recording we're not going to know too much about what happened with Saturday at Hollywoodbets Kenilworth. So for example, when we go through race number 1 in the form of Viva La Vida, you'll know, but at the time I don't know betting available. But we're less than 2 weeks away from the Hollywoodbets Durban July. Yep, so it's going to be a lot of fun at Hollywoodbets Greyville on the 5th of July for those who haven't booked their tickets and haven't started putting their thinking caps on. Today is the day, yes, Tuesday. That's when the final field and the barrier draw will be conducted live from Hollywoodbets Greyville in the midst of this race meeting in the Western Cape, and that is really the full stop. There we go. No more preparation other than the gallops, but no more runs. The form is the form, and that's what we're going to be working with going into Africa's greatest horse race down in KZN at Hollywoodbets Greyville. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channels, and you'll be able to keep abreast of all the information. We're structuring a lovely panel discussion as well, leading into the Hollywoodbets Durban July with a very special host and 3 very special guests. I will not be part of that because I will already be down the East Coast in the week leading up. But as far as this Tuesday card is concerned, it's not straightforward. However, I quite like the card. I think there are a few races that horses make appeal. Perhaps we can catch a pick 6 and maybe we'll be on the winning side and build up a kitty getting into the big bonanza on the 5th of July. Let's kick off with race number 1. The Hollywoodbets Kenilworth welcomes you maiden juvenile plate. This for fillies. They go 1,200 metres, a field of 9 carded to face the starter. The starting point here is pretty easily going to be Viva La Vida, number 1 on the card. Gavin Larena takes a ride for Vaughan Marshall. I think Gavin's got an unbelievable book of rides on this Tuesday. He'll be turning up no matter the weather, with an umbrella and ready to go on this book that he's got. And he kicks off with what looks to be a winning chance with Viva La Vida. Just having a look at that debut run behind Lowfelt Lily, where Lowfelt Lily ran the finish out of Viva La Vida. Lowfelt Lily obviously stepped up to 1,500 metres over the weekend. Viva La Vida back to a sprint. No surprise there. She'll be wiser. She'll be better. And if you consider that Lowfelt Lily deemed good enough to run in a listed feature just a few days earlier, and the form, or perhaps the lack thereof further down the page, I think that she is going to be a very hard horse to beat, number 1, Viva La Vida. But I do have a lot of time for number 8, Beautiful One, as a bit of backup. This Daughter of One World, Elder De Meo on board for Candice Bass. I thought the debut was excellent behind Una the Unicorn, who was desperately unlucky in her post-maiden effort, and then her last start behind She's My World. She may have been a little bit flat over 1,000 metres, but she steps up again to 1,200 metres. It looks like she's got a reasonable finishing burst, and if you consider on debut on the 14th of April, there was 0 action towards the outside of the course at Hollywoodbets Kenilworth. She did well. She was one of the only few horses on the entire month to have shown up on the outside, was number 8, Beautiful One. So there's got to be another chance or two that she's on the credit. I think we've seen enough on debut to suggest that there is a horse that's ready to win there. 3 Marquetta back again, can't fault her. She's close to winning, but she is held by Beautiful One on that Una the Unicorn run. So all in all, race number 1, this is how we kick things off. Box swingers 1 and 8. Race number 2 on the card, Race Coast maiden juvenile plate for fillies over 1,200 metres. Interesting race. It's the first leg of the bipot, which I have tipped. But before we get there, there are a few horses here that I want to make reference to. I think there's a lot of improvement to come from the likes of number 2, Megan's Diamond, 3, 7, No Trump, 7, Clouds Clearing, 8, Wedding Vow, and number 10, My Dear Friend, who's obviously had an extra run, but did make improvement from the first to the second start. Likewise, number 9, Lilac and Winter, and a few first-timers here who obviously jump off the page as far as genetics are concerned. But I think the horse that's most ready is number 4, Demoria. There's no doubt about that. Elder De Meo on board for Candice Bass Robinson. We're having a look at the last start behind Inside Voice, where for me, Inside Voice always had Demoria's number, but Demoria still stayed on nicely, hard up on the outside, far clear of anything else on that side of the track on that occasion. I think that she's made good improvement from the first start behind She's My World into the second start behind Inside Voice. And if you're just going to isolate a horse that looks ready to step off the conveyor belt, she is simply it. I'd be surprised if she certainly didn't make the first 2. Yet she might come under fire from a couple of improvers, and I think the biggest improver could be number 10, My Dear Friend, who is of course a half sister to Boomsire, Eric the Red. And as mentioned, there has been improvement to come. Andrew Fortune takes a ride on the stable companion to number 4, Demoria, but I'll be disappointed if Demoria doesn't get the job done, certainly as far as running into the top 2 and the bar pot is concerned. Number of angles that you can work with. Watch for good improvement from quite a few horses. I think the one that might, the first timer, or the one start horse that made a good impression late without really putting her hoof up, was number 7, Clouds Clearing, the Daughter of One World. She was quiet on debut, but she did stay on nicely. She ran a 400 to finish in 23.4, so that could be the one that sort of hits the boards as far as the top three is concerned. I think we might be one run premature before she really has a winning chance. So all in all, the buy pot kicking off in race number 2. This is the play 4 and 10, by 2, 4 and 8, by 6 and 9, by banker 11, better man from a deep draw. We're relying on him by 2, 5, 13, 14, by 2, 6 and 8. Moving on now to race number 3. It's the first leg of the Place Accumulator. Very nice race. This joined the Euphoria Middle Stakes over 1,800 metres. And here we're having a very close look at the Ahead of the Facts form from the 1st of June. Ahead of the Facts was a runner over the weekend. But from that form and in this race, we have Pinot Grigio, who was a short head behind Ahead of the Facts and a short head in front of 006, who was a quarter of a length in front of Song to the Moon, who was 3/4 of a length in front of We Have Touchdown. So what I'm getting at is that if that form is going to stand up and hold up and to be trusted, there should be very little to choose between all those horses. We just had a look at that rerun that Pinot Grigio is highlighted in, and all those runners that were in and around. For me, I thought Pinot Grigio was a little bit stiff. I think had the race been over 100 metres shorter, in fact over 50 metres shorter, he may have won the race. Ahead of the Facts was just building all the while, and the further he goes, the better he will be. And he just got there in a nick of time over the 1950. So 1,800 metres, I think we come into a happy place as far as Pinot Grigio is concerned. Andrew Fortune is back on board, and he's remained consistent, and I think he's got some more to come, does Pinot Grigio, just as a racehorse. And I think going into the summer, there's a whole lot of these emerging 3-year-olds that are very much untapped, and he could be in that type of category. Now, I don't know about World Sports Betting Cape Town Met credentials. In fact, that's highly unlikely, but certainly at a reasonable level, maybe a Peninsula, maybe even the Stayers races during the Cape Summer, Pinot Grigio could fit in quite nicely among that lot. But if he does, then the likes of those horses that I've just mentioned should do as well. We Have Touchdown, got to be one of the more handsome horses around, so to give me the green light to the extremely well-performed Soft Landing. I think that he's going to find a little bit more as ratings come down slightly. Moosey's on board, given a break between the Racehorse Owners Association stakes at Fairview and then coming back at the end of the summer, and he's gradually built into some sort of form, and now I think he's over the right type of trip to be very dangerous. And then also 5 and 8, as mentioned, Song to the Moon. He's never going to win by far, but he grinds out results and gets close and gets right in there. And 006 for me is the interesting runner in the race. Last time they walked down the back straight, Gavin Lerena made use of 006 and actually turned it into a race down the back straight, and he stuck around well. He looked like he was going to run well worse than the head margin suggested, but he stuck around to run ahead behind, and I think he's also in that category of a horse that has a bit of improvement to come. So I'm in a bit of a quandary when it comes to the first leg of the Place Accumulator, so we're going to go box trifecta 2, 4, 5 and 8. Moving on to race number 4, it's the One World Syndicate Open Maiden, 1,800 metres, 5 to 2 is the first leg of the Pick 6. This is tricky. And the only reason why I've gone in with 6 numbers in the Pick 6 is after doing perfectly placed with a few of the trainers earlier in the week. There was a little bit of alarm bells ringing that the first initial way that I read this race, thinking that, and I still think Senor Dante is the horse they all need to beat, but I think that it's a little bit more open than what I initially thought, because Senor Dante's form lines aren't all that impressive. He steps up in distance, that should suit, because obviously being by Rafif out of a Silvano mare, we know that Rafif throws to the mare, so should stay all day, and does look to be getting more solid and more reliable as time goes on. Number 2, Senor Dante, but the form lines aren't all that pretty behind Father Christmas and a Freak. But with that said, he's got something to come. Louis Otwa is on board for James Crawford, so he is my tentative top selection. And like I said, I was keen to keep this race at a premium, but ultimately I'm not that keen anymore. Des McLaughlin talking about number 1 Money Extractor off a very light weight. Beneath the Clouds came out and won as well. Stayed on very strongly last time, did Money Extractor for the first time in a while. She's got a reasonable draw. Gareth Wright takes her right at 53.5. She's going to be very dangerous. She could be the springer in the pack. Number 5 Sesame's improving. She looked like a very average maiden when she started her career, but she's getting better and closer. Gavin Lerena's on board. Wherever Money Extractor is, Sesame should be right there. Stable companion to Senor Dante, number 6 Real Stunner, is banging at the door, starting to bang at the door anyway. 3rd run after a break, 3rd run after a gelding, so he'll be peaking now. And then number 9 Beautiful Side, Eric Sands, Brevin Plyke's team up with that apprentice allowance at 2.5. That's got to be worth something. And if you go back to the Aria Vistas run, Beautiful Side is weighted to finish in front of Real Stunner, who I've just spoken about. So it's a complex first leg of the Pick 6. Here are my numbers: 1, 2, 5, 6, 9 and 10 by banker 11 Better Man. The day revolves around him by a few horses. 1, 2, 4, 5, 7, 11, 13, 14 by 1, 2, 3, 6 and 8 by 2, 6, 9, 11, 12, by 2, 8, 9, and 11. It's a costly perm, but I think we've got to spread the net. Right, my day revolves around this. It's the middle of the day, so I'm going to be waiting with bated breath for race number 5, and if it goes awry, then going to be a miserable last few races. Race Cape powered by Hollywoodbets Maiden Plate over 1,600 metres. There's no shortage of confidence about the future of number 11, Better Man. Let's have a look at his career. Gavin Larena takes a ride for Vaughan Marshall. He's back on board after running third to Randolph first last time out. Now, there were whispers about him on debut. It was early days as far as the juveniles were concerned. Back in December, a distant memory. And he didn't raise a gallop, to be fair, behind parental guidance. But he stepped up at his second start at Hollywoodbets D'Urberville. He got caught out of his ground, but he made late impression behind Pay the Palace when there was a little bit of bumping and boring over the closing stages. But he still stepped up adequately and showed a little bit of mettle at his second start. Then you would have thought, right, third start, here we go. And he found Randolph first. Too good. Now, there's nothing wrong with finding Randolph first too good. If you listen to MJ Bailiff and Gavin Larena after the race, when MJ caught up with Gavin, he said, wait for this horse to be gelded. You'll see much better. He was gelded a week after his last start, and here we go. This has got to be time to dance. On that Randolph first run, he finished in front of Captain's Alliance and Bellsy Rossi, two horses that I suppose figure into calculations as far as place chances are concerned, but I think he's just got a little bit of class about him. Number 11, Better Man, and the whispers that I've heard out of the camp is that now you're going to see a little bit better from the newly gelded son of One World. So like I said, day revolves around him. Win bet on number 11, Better Man. Race number 6, perfectly placed class 4, 1,600 metres is the distance. This is tricky. My each way play comes up in this race. A field of 15 to face the starts. I think it's difficult to put a pin through any of these, but the horse that I'm most keen on is Express Yourself, the son of Trippy, out of the Dynasty mare Madonna. Muzi Yenny on board for Justin Snaith. Muzi rode this horse once before in the Politician Stakes when he was beaten 6 1/4 lengths by Zeitz, and I think that run is good enough. And then he was used as the pacemaker in the Splash Out Cape Derby for 8 on 18. The poor guy went 2,000 metres, went hammer and tong, did the best he could. He did everything he needed to as well as far as 8 on 18's end result is concerned. And then quite rightly, the brakes went on Express Yourself. You're not going to bring him back so soon after a hard run like that. He would have needed his first run back behind 006 with 64 kilos on his back, and then last time behind ahead of the facts, not beaten far at all. Now that form is going to be revealed earlier on in the day, and if it does work out and there was some reliability to the form of ahead of the facts, the number 5 Express Yourself becomes very appealing. Ratings come down slightly, I know it's just a pound, but I'm under the impression that he's now going to step forward significantly, number 5 Express Yourself, and he's the horse that I'm most interested in when it comes to race number 6. As you would have told by my pick 6 numbers, I've got a whole lot of horses that are in the mix here as well. 1, 2, 4, 7, 11, 13 and 14. King's Quest I think is under-delivered. Arbitration always held in higher regard. His rating's also come down a pound. I think he might have been stuck in the mud last time. Going to get stuck in the mud again on Tuesday, by the way. Those are just the conditions that you're going to get in the Cape for a few months. For Afrika, already winner of the maiden last time out, set to music, got to be a runner on this card as well. And then a few others also figuring into the play. Number 7, Hoodia. Don't know what to make of Hoodia. It's still a one-time winner from 14 starts. That's a little bit of a disappointment. And then a few others in there as well, 11, 13 and 14. But all in all, each way play, Express Yourself. Race number 7 has joined the festivities, middle stakes, 1,400 metres the distance, wide open race here. A lot of horses that have been on the radar for a while. So again, I'm going to have a tough time splitting all the hairs when it comes into the last chance to play a pick 3 at Hollywoodbets Kenilworth on this Tuesday. I think the horse that's struck us all, funny enough, is Dawn Till Dusk, number 6 on the card. Was an unlucky loser last time. I think that's been well documented. Looked to winner. The photo went the other way, went to air raid. We all thought Dawn Till Dusk had won. This is one of Vicky Minot's spirit horses, is Dawn Till Dusk, the son of Trippy. JP van der Merwe takes a ride for Justin Snaith. Another horse who went into the Splash Out Cape Derby. He was outgunned. He's just simply not that good. But again, if we're going to use the run to Zeitz in the Politician Stakes, the City of Cape Town Politician Stakes, as a reference point for Express Yourself, then that's got to be a good reference point for number 6, Dawn Till Dusk. I think there are wins to come, and I think if he doesn't win here, he ought to go very close, number 6, Dawn Till Dusk. But of the others, plenty of others, I'm keen on number 2, Please Be True. This poor horse got to be the unluckiest horse in Cape Town. He just keeps finding traffic problems, whether it's a small field, whether it's a big field, whether it's a big day, whether it's a small day. Look at all his form lines, though. There are winners left, right and centre coming out of the form lines. Gavin Larena down to 55.5 to take the round on Please Be True. I mean, all these facts are hitting you in the face. Also, Gavin's 1 from 1 on Please Be True. That was when we turned up at Hollywoodbets Dermaville, had a race and packed up and went home. So he likes the soft as well. In fact, he loves the soft. Please Be True's a massive, massive chance. And I suppose it's not his fault that he keeps finding traffic problems, just a victim of circumstance, unfortunately. Then we got the evergreen trying efforts of number 1, War Chariot. Impossible to put a line through him. His penultimate start was so admirable when he led the whole way and just got collared late by Green Garnet. A horse with that much heart, soul and guts, always going to get the benefit of the doubt. Number 3, Prometere, always punches above his weight. He's got to be considered. And then number 8, Green Garnet. Eric Sands done a wonderful job with him. Chatting to him on Perfectly Placed, the reasons why he moved to Cape Town are well documented with allergies up on the half out, and he has really hit his straps here as the son of Give Me the Green Light. And again, if Air Raid form line is to be considered, him and Dawn Till Dusk should have nothing to choose between them. So, Boxed Exacta, hoping it goes according to plan. We get a little bit of value here from one of these horses. 1, 2, 3, 6 and 8. Now things get hard. The last 2 races are tricky. Genuine Indian Syndicate Class 5 for fillies and mares. 1,400 metres is the distance. A field of 13 to face the starters. Some of the good old regulars that go around at Hollywoodbets Kenilworth at this type of level in the winter. Royal Lytham, going to take a stab with her again. 2-time winner from 21 starts. JP van der Merwe takes ride for Adam Marcus. We know that Adam gets his horses into the right place, into the right races, things long and hard, and has a good look at the program in advance. It's been nearly a year since she last tasted success. I'm of the opinion that she would have needed her last run slightly when she finished 4 1/4 lengths behind Avignon. She also had a shoe replaced at the start, and never a fan of that after Siren's Call in the Wilkebos Drift South African Oaks about a decade ago. I just don't think that they're as sharp as what they can be after being attended to down the start. But I still think she ran nicely under top weight behind Avignon against boys. She's now against her own sex with a run under the belt. And without being too confident, without banging my chest about being a good thing, I think number 2, Royal Lytham, stands a very good chance of winning. Just to recap those pick 6 numbers, 6, 9, 11 and 12 were used as backup. So Angel's Oasis, beaten 3 1/2 lengths by Electromagnetism last time out. I think that she's exposed, yes, but I think she's overall a bit better than her rating of 70. When she's going to get to that level, I'm not 100% sure, but I think that there are still some wins to come at a level like this. Black Path caught the eye last time out, hard towards the inside, made up a lot of ground at number 9, Black Path, so I'm likely to believe that she's not too far away from getting the job done. 11, Diamond Bomber, and 12, Senora Victoria, also in the play. But if Royal Lytham can be as effective over 1,400 metres, then I think that she represents a good place bet in race number 8. Let's now move on to the 9th and last Hollywoodbets Bright Future Class 4 over 1,200 metres, and sometimes you open the card and you just say, right, that's a quartet race all over. Field of 13 to face the starter, wide open handicap, plenty in with chances. Say that a lot here. Let's have a look at One Liner, the son of One World, trained by Michelle Ricks and Harold Crawford. Gavin Larena takes the ride. His last start was his first run after a bout of colic, and what a run it was behind Surge of Power. Hit the line with a lot in hand on the back of an 8-month break. He's got form to Boundless Energy. I know that Boundless Energy ran the other day and didn't rip up any trees, but he would have likely needed the run. And when Gavin Larena takes a ride for Michelle Ricks and Harold Crawford, you immediately think of Comet de Dung, and then you think of recent stats. The last year, 14 times they've teamed up, and they've hit the boards 12 times. So that's got to be good enough as far as a quartet play, and I think he's got a huge winning chance. Number 11, One Line, a tiny little horse, but massive heart, and obviously unharmed by the handicap on the back of that last run, which he was likely to need. He's going to step forward significantly with that run under the belt. Where are the dangers? Well, there are plenty of dangers, because I think the race opens up like that. Number 2, Circumbendibus, has got to be it. He's become a model of consistency. He's banging at the door. He finished in front of One Liner last time out. Yeah, we can make the argument that One Liner, and I'm going to make the argument that One Liner would have needed that last run, so it could very well turn the form around. But I do think that Circumbendibus would be a deserved winner if he were to get the job done, and I cannot write off his chances, and I'm of the opinion that they'll finish right next to each other. And if I think that One Line is going to get the better of Circumbendibus, under that type of logic, Circumbendibus should finish right next to him. So I'm happy to say that it'll go either way, with 11 from 2 being my order. But as far as the quartet is concerned, and I'm hoping that something at a big price can run into the top 4, I'm going to double float 2 and 11 by the field to wrap things up. And that is a full stop at the end of this meeting at Hollywoodbets Kenilworth on this Tuesday. We are not scheduled to race in the Cape for a while because all eyes will move to KZN for the Hollywoodbets Durban July. If you haven't booked your ticket, haven't booked your space, I suggest you do so now. Get in touch with all the team, book your tickets. There are not many hospitality venues that are available at Hollywoodbets Grey Hall. We're expecting a big crowd, as we always do, and we're expecting a great race. Lots of panel discussions to come your way in the coming days and in the lead up to the Hollywoodbets Durban July. Get your favourite panelist, your favourite pundit, and see what they have to say and perhaps form an opinion from there. Lots of doubles, trebles, pick sixes on the go as well, leading into the Hollywoodbets Durban July. It's going to be a lot of fun. It always is, and I'm looking forward to seeing you there and at Hollywoodbets Kenilworth on Tuesday. Come and say hello. It's going to be a nice day to hopefully warm the cockles of your heart. Till next time, goodbye.